This week on the Internet Cafe, sex on the web. We'll meet the author of this Salon article, which says that the Internet's porn sites are leading the way in web technology. This is Danny Ash. She used to be an exotic dancer. Now she's an Internet entrepreneur. NerveLink is a literate erotica website that takes a highbrow view of cybersex. You may have read the Ask Isadora column in the newspaper. Now Isadora's advice on sexual problems is on the web. And meet Eva Bunker. She manages oneandonly.com, a website that puts the emphasis on love, not sex. Sex on the web this week at the Internet Cafe.
The Internet Cafe is brought to you by Z Auction, the live online shopping experience. Additional funding from PC Connection and Mac Connection, the catalog and online superstore with PC and Mac products, toll-free technical support, and overnight delivery. And by Windows Magazine, delivering desktop, enterprise, and internet computing news, reviews, features, and how-tos for a Windows world, because the world runs on Windows. Additional funding from SoftSource Incorporated, publishers of Pro1's Mathematics Tutor in a Box for school year 98-99, including 6 CDs and workbook.
So we're going to tread a little bit lightly here with sex on the web. Does this make you feel uncomfortable at all doing this topic?
Well, I get the easy part. I get to do the foreplay, as it were.
Dating.
Dating.
Dating, okay. You're chickening out of this. Andrew, it's you and me again.
No, I think it's very interesting, the fact that I think sex online is probably the biggest industry on the web right now.
That's for sure.
And I think that, you know, sex chat and fantasy role-playing is some of the most popular things that people do on the internet. So I think it'll be interesting to explore it a little.
Well, I guess there's sex and then there's sex on the web. I mean, there's sort of the soft porn, sort of mild stuff, and then there's a lot of that, you know, hardcore live cameras from Amsterdam kind of stuff, which we're not going to get into. But you're right, it's a big business people are doing. There's a lot to learn, really, from the business models, from the technology that these people are doing. So it's not just the sort of lascivious kind of thing we're talking about.
Bryna, you're from Nerve.com, which I think is kind of a highbrow literary magazine for sexuality and things like that. You guys have created NerveLink, which is a bit of a search engine for that kind of material, and really not porn, but really sort of the more tasteful erotica, if you will. Tell me a little bit about how the idea of a site like this came about and what's on there.
Well, sex on the internet is a very popular topic. You see it all the time.
The most popular topic, I think.
If you look at any search engine, actually, you'll see that people search on dirty words more than anything.
Right.
But what there really was lacking on the internet was an organized search engine that had the scope of sexuality that was out there that really wasn't represented any place that I could find. So we created NerveLink to be a comprehensive index of all kinds of sexuality on the web, whether it is pictures, whether it's literature, whether it's chat, whether it's a dating service, whether it's poetry, just anything that has to do with sex. It seemed appropriate to put together and to organize and to make it fun to learn more about sex.
And I think it's important sort of to make the distinction between really people exploring their sexuality and sex and pornography. And it sounds like this is really for that first group, you know, who want to...
Yeah, no, it does ostensibly, well, no, I guess it doesn't. It is more about sexuality. We definitely have erotic pictures.
Sure.
That's
well,
all part of sexuality.
Right,
yeah,
it
I mean,
over.
and it is about titillation, and it's kind of giving a comprehensive and total look at sexuality. So you can 1 second be looking at an STD site, and then the next second be looking at an erotica picture, and somehow it all seems cohesive because it's together, and it's all encouraging you to learn and to find out more. I think it's pretty fun.
Good. Well, speaking of cohesive, tell me about some of the different categories and, you know, how you decided on them. And,
well, we started out really just seeing what was out there, and we did have the idea that we wanted it to be a little bit more literate, a bit more engaging for the mind as well as the body, and so we came up with a grand scheme of kind of academia, like history, health, literature, pictures, art, And we kind of subdivided from there. So right now we have an intellectual section, we have an academic section, we have a literature section, we have 2 picture sections. We have the shameless sleaze, which is for the more shameless
Sounds like
things.
the traditional type of site.
Which is definitely on our site,
Right.
because you can't talk about sex on the internet
Right.
without that. And we also have another section called Eye Candy, which has a lot of the online photography sites.
So
There's
more
quite
artistic
a lot
nudes and things like that. Okay, real quickly, tell me a couple of your real popular, the sites that you thought were sort of the best ones. You've been out there searching, obviously.
Well, my personal favorite is a site called Cruella. It's based out of England. It's Cruella.com.
Scared already.
And, well, the premise behind it is so odd. It just never occurred to me. It's about Amazon women and crushing men and like stepping on them.
Okay.
And it has this one little section with these mini men, and they have these women wearing bras made out of these tiny little men and like little thongs and stuff.
Okay.
Just very, very strange.
I don't
but
think
it's fun.
we won't explore why why you were attracted to that, and I probably won't show the site to my girlfriend. But thank you for pointing that out.
Actually, it's quite tame. There's not really. You have to order the videos on that site, so there's not actually that much to see. It's just very well done.
For URLs of today's featured websites, check out the Internet Cafe site at cmptv.com. Well, some people think adult websites are exploitive of women, but some of these sites are actually owned and run by women, and one of the most successful ones is Danny.com, and this is Danny of Danny.com. How you doing?
Good, good.
Now, let me ask you, you've been in a lot of different aspects of the adult business, if we can call it that. You were an exotic dancer for a while. You were involved in videos. Now you're doing the web stuff. Is the web different in any significant way? Is this a different part of the adult business than the other things you've done?
I think because the web is such a new technology, it's a level playing field, and so many of us have been able to get in on a level playing field.
Meaning you can be an entrepreneur,
Exactly.
not just a performer.
And we can take more control of our own images, our own careers. So you see, I mean, I was the first, but now there are virtually every men's magazine model and dancer that I know has their own website, and they're all in charge.
Now, you're pretty cool because, as I understand it, you actually went in there and wrote your own HTML code when you started this, right?
Well, when I discovered the internet, you know, the proverbial light bulb went off, and I said, "Gotta have one of these." And I hired a programmer and gave him about 3 weeks. He wasn't really getting my concept, so I hired another programmer. Still wasn't getting my concept. So I was on my way on a vacation in the Bahamas. I picked up the HTML manual, style, and Negroponte's Being Digital. Read them on the beach. I'm sitting there with my, my HTML manual in the
your
sand.
Your bikini and your manual.
Exactly. Everybody else is reading John Grisham novels and, dime store and romances. And so I taught myself HTML on this vacation, went home, and built Danny's hard drive in 3 weeks.
Wow. All right, let's talk about the site a little bit. Do you make money? Can I ask you that?
The business is very successful, yes.
So, I mean, so adult websites do make money.
Yes, they do.
And I guess you have 3 things going. You sell some stuff on your website, you have subscriptions, and you have some advertising.
I don't sell advertising.
You don't sell advertising?
90% of our
I
revenue.
I saw some ads in your site.
I have it's a complicated thing, but I do have a banner
cooperative arrangements.
A former content provider.
Okay.
Now has their own website, and we send them traffic. But
now,
as a rule, I don't sell advertising.
Now, a lot of your website, the basic website, the Danny's hard drive, is free stuff. There's a lot of pictures of bare-breasted women, which is, I mean, it's not a hardcore site.
No, it's very soft.
When you go to a lot of these type sites, it reminds me sort of the Barker and the Carnival. I mean, you can stand there for free and look at somebody on the runway, but for just $5 you can go in and see more. Is that really the game? I mean, to get people in there and then try to sell them into your subscription service?
Well, I mean, it's definitely a commercial venture, yes.
Sure.
I mean, we're doing everything we can to sell subscriptions.
Right.
But we're also, I mean, I have other goals. I want to provide information to fans so that they get a more real picture of the women that they're seeing in magazines, give them a little bit more of a three-dimensional view and fantasy. And then I also want to provide for the models a chance to promote themselves the way they want to be promoted.
I mean, you really pay attention to that. I mean, you really care about the customers and about the people who work for you.
It's taking the fans and the models and putting them together, taking out the middleman.
Do you think at all about, there are people who think what you're doing is bad, and you should not make it easy for kids to log onto the web and see naked women. Do you think about that at all?
I don't think we do make it easy for kids to get on. I mean, I'm always very conscious of what I'm publishing, and I try to show very positive views of the women in my industry.
And I'll give you credit. You have big warnings up there, and you send people off to Net Nanny if they want to do that kind of stuff, etc.
I wholeheartedly endorse Net Nanny and Surfwatch and all the other. And I feel like if you're a parent that's concerned, go and put it on your machine. You know, be a proactive parent. Put it on your machine.
But beyond that, I mean, as a woman in charge of this, I mean, you're an example of somebody who's not exploited, but it's your business. You're making money on it, right? And you're proud of that.
I'm very proud of my site, yes.
Why not? Well, it's a great site. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
For URLs of today's featured websites, check out the Internet Cafe site at cmptv.com.
Now, Eva, you run, you and your family, I guess, run oneandonly.com. Is that right?
It's not entirely correct. My brother is the co-founder. I work there. We have another brother that works there, but this just sort of happened.
All kind of just happened?
Yeah, he founded it, and it started taking off. He needed a little bit of help because it was just growing so much. We stepped in, and it's just a wonderful site. We're here. We're staying.
Now, for the uninitiated, explain to me what oneandonly.com is all about.
It's about helping people meet other people. It's about having a safe, comfortable environment for people for singles who are looking for romance or friendship.
So it's basically an online dating service, is that right?
That would be a fair statement.
So a web experience. Now, oneandonly.com is actually one of the most popular and one of the most successful sites as well. And kind of leading me to the next question is, how do you go about doing something like that? I know if I wanted to do it in the personals in a newspaper, I'd phone up, I'd have my little blurb and so on and so forth. How do I go about putting in my own personal ad on One and Only?
You show up, One and Only, and we'll walk you through the steps of placing an ad. We have an ad workshop. We have tips. We have classic ads that have gotten a lot of response in case you're not really sure about what you want to put in there, how you want to say it. We have an ad of the month, so you can see what's really hot. But basically, you're going to go in and you're going to have a headline, and that's just a short blurb that's going to, it's an eye-catching thing, so that people actually go in and look at your ad.
Now, I've got a photograph up of myself, and I thought one of the other neat things about your site was that you could actually do a sound bite as well. You could actually say a few words.
It's free to add, a photo. It's free to have an ad or a profile up there. You can add a photo. You can either upload it, or you can send it with an email, or you can mail it to us, and we'll scan it for you. The voice, you call in, and we have an 800 number.
Hi, I'm Michael.
It's just like leaving a message on your friend's answering machine.
So it's pretty straightforward. Now, let me ask you from a business perspective, how are you making money? I mean, if placing my ad is free, do I pay when I find somebody, or how does it work?
We are a subscription-based website. We're a premium site. You pay to respond. You join the all-you-can-email club, so you get an unlimited number of email, and it's a monthly fee. So it ranges anywhere from $6.65 to $14.95 a month, just depending on how long you sign up for.
Okay. So now, similar to a dating service, I mean, how do I do a search? Do I say, like, I want, a guy who's 5 foot, in my case 5'5" would probably be just fine, and those types of things?
Search.
I mean,
if you're on the site, you can do a search and tell us what you're looking for by geography, by lifestyle, physical characteristics, and we'll show you the ads. The other thing you can do is sign up for our Agent of Love.
What's that?
It's our most popular feature. We basically store what you want. You tell us what you're looking for in profiles. I'm looking for somebody living in California, it's a little bit shorter than average, whatever. And every day, we will go through all of the new ads that we get. We get between 1,000 and 1,500 new ads a day.
Wow.
And we will email them to you. We'll give you the headlines, we'll give you the actual ad text, and a link so that if you're interested, you go to our site, you see the picture, you can see the voice.
Now, you've also got some advice columns. You've got Dana, and I think a doctor on there that's giving you some advice as well. So, I mean, there's more than just an online dating service.
There's tips, there's hints, there's just anything to make you a little bit more comfortable.
So give me an idea, how many ongoing profiles of people do you have?
Currently, right now, that are current profiles, we have 110,000.
Wow.
And they're current. We sweep the database to make sure that our emails are all up to date.
Right. So that's a lot. There's an awful lot of people out there finding love on the internet.
Everywhere.
That's great, Eva. Thanks so much.
We're here with Larry Maggett, syndicated columnist for the LA Times. And Larry, we're talking about actually the subject of sort of adult sites on the web, but I talked to a woman just before who said she'd created her own website, learned HTML programming all on her own, and it got me to thinking, how hard is it really for someone that looks at all these websites and says, hey, I want to put up a website of my own?
Well, it couldn't be that hard because I've done it. And, and when I first started, I learned a little bit of HTML,
And then I got smart and I said, I don't need to know HTML.
There
are products like Front Page and Home Page and Page Mill.
Right.
There's tons of these. You can get a free one off of AOL's website.
So what's the first step?
You basically decide what you want to do. The first step is always content. Have an idea, get your content in order, make sure you've got good graphics, make sure you've got compelling copy. And then you take one of these programs and they basically work like a word processing program. You type in what you want, you paste in the graphics, and you upload them to your server. You have to have a relationship with an ISP that will host your site.
So you have to